In order to become who you are, you need to be willing to let go of who you think you are. I feel like I've been through so many different versions of myself the past 4 years. It's insane. I'm in my late 20s, and looking back, I feel like every single day I have made it my purpose to become more of myself. But not only become more of myself, to let go of parts of myself. And I think a lot of us are so scared to do that. A lot of us rather choose the comfortable. We rather choose to just exist and not think too hard about what that means, what that looks like. I have always found myself to be scared of facing the darkness within myself. I was one of those people that was buying into that toxic positivity of feeling like if you just think good thoughts, think of all the love and light in the world within yourself that you know about yourself, that you know exists in this world, maybe all the bad things can't catch up to you. Maybe they don't exist in you and they were just bad thoughts all along. Maybe they never existed. And I think some of the hardest moments in my life have been when I felt like I've lost touch with myself. And some of the most scariest moments are those times too, that we feel like we're losing parts of ourselves. And it's the in-between. You are maybe going through puberty and you're younger right now, and you don't recognize parts of yourself, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Maybe you're in your late 30s or your late 20s like me, and you have these really hard mental battles from time to time, these episodes that are really hard to bear, are really hard to witness in who you are and your character and your personality. And you change your character and your personality. It changes through those hard episodes, those hard times of being human. And I think that if we really want to become more of who we know we can be and who we want to be and who we're destined to be, we have to let go of the parts of ourselves that we think we are, that we're attaching to. And I think to become more of who you really are is so synonymous with letting go of who you really aren't, is getting to know who you're really not, is going to those experiences that you think aren't really your cup of tea or your thing, and coming back home and being like, yep, my gosh, I should have just stayed home and watched Netflix. Or I'm an introvert, but maybe I should do an extrovert thing today and like go to that party. And maybe you go to that coffee shop with your friend and have them bring a new friend you haven't met before, but you mutually have the same energy, the same connection. You have so many things to talk about. And maybe you go home and realize that all along you were just hanging out with the wrong people, the people that didn't light that fire in you, the people that you had to feel like you had to think about what to say next, the small talk, engaging in all of the things that are worldly and not the things that make you feel alive in this universe, and talking deep about the stars and about your existence and what you really want out of this life. Maybe those are your people, and maybe you can be an extrovert around people that don't take away your energy. You know, I think it's kind of interesting. I'm an introvert, and I feel like going on YouTube and sharing thoughts like this, something that I didn't think I would ever do. I never thought that I was cut out for singing in front of a camera and sharing my deepest desires, but I'm someone who comes alive in talking about things like this and in letting go the parts of myself that I think I was, the parts of myself that I thought I wouldn't be qualified to talk and sit in here before you today and just share myself and just talk about life with you, just chat. Then I wouldn't be here sharing these thoughts right now. I wouldn't feel confident enough. I wouldn't feel present and alive like I do right now. And I think it's really, really important to have these little check-ins with ourselves. You know, if you do this with your partner, I think it's so valuable, but we often forget that we are our eternal home. And if we're not checking in with ourselves, be it mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, then what are we doing? Where are we going? I think that's what makes people more afraid to jump in and really learn about what they want out of themselves in this life, because they're too afraid to get uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think it's ironic because you are your best friend, or at least God hopes you are. At least at the end of the day, your body and your cells are doing everything in their power to keep you alive. Think about that. You're right now breathing. Take a deep breath. You're breathing the air through your lungs. Your lungs are there fighting for you every single second of every single day. And you don't have to do anything but nourish yourself, show up, exist. And that's a story that we're told. And a lot of people can find themselves in that being enough for a short round of time, but it won't sustain you. You have to get to know who you are and what you need to let go of in order to become the person that you're destined to be. The person that you know in your heart already exists, but maybe she's just not there yet. Maybe you're in another paradigm right now. You're a different version of yourself that is so needed and pivotal to get to the growing version that you are in the next moment, 5 minutes from now, 10 years from now, 2 weeks from now. So if you feel like you're in a rut right now, or you feel like you don't know really how to connect with yourself anymore in this world, or you feel disconnected, you don't feel purposeful, go do something today, tonight, tomorrow, but don't push it off. Go do something that makes you feel alive. And that can look like having that chat with a friend you haven't talked to in a while. That can look like pushing yourself out your comfort zone if you're an introvert. Maybe it can look like sitting with a book and reading if you're an extrovert, and sitting with yourself, taking time to just be with yourself. There's so many voices in our heads throughout the day, and I think it's so easy for us to get caught up and confused, especially as an empath like me. I don't know if you're like that too, but if you're a highly sensitive person, my gosh, it's hard to understand what's yours and what's not, right? And that's why it's more important now than ever to sit with yourself, to let go willingly, openly, truthfully, and honestly of the things in your life that don't belong anymore, that don't serve your highest good. If that's a friend, that's a family member, if that's a situationship, a job, relationship. Only you know what that is. And as I say this, whatever comes to your mind, that's it. That was divinely inspired. So sit with that. Think about it, but don't overthink about it. Let your heart speak to you. And at the end of the day, only you know who you are. Your brain does a lot of justifying about what that looks like and who you should look like and that mask we put on when we leave the house. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is so freeing to just say, I am human, I am messy, and I'm becoming the best version of myself. And I'm going to do what it takes to nourish her, become her, love her, and appreciate her, or him, or them. And I promise you, this is just the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful new chapter. You got this.